Hey everybody, it's Mike and welcome back to the How Did It Happen podcast. This is the solo series. So today I'm going to be talking to you about selling a business and more specifically, why you need both an exit strategy and what I'm calling an entry strategy as well. So I'm a believer, if you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, I am a believer in the notion that you should always be operating your business as if it were for sale. I believe that for a couple of reasons. One, it's very, very easy to be operating your business and lose track or lose focus about what's important. What are the most meaningful drivers for the business? And when you do that, the business can kind of veer off into directions that you may not desire them to have moved into. But because you're not looking at it with an eye towards selling the business, you can drift. And alternatively, when you do run your business like it is for sale, even if you have no desire to and are not considering selling the business, it creates a focus and a dynamic inside of the business for you and for your whole team that I think is really healthy, because really your job as a business owner, your job as an entrepreneur, your job as the CEO is to maximize the value of that company at all times, meaning that you are always looking to make it as good as it can possibly be at the moment, and then looking to grow the value of what it could possibly be over time. So I'm a believer in that. So that's that part. Now, when you go to sell a business, there are a lot of resources. There's a lot of expertise. There's a lot of discussion about how to exit a business. And I never really like the word exit because it sort of has this implication that you're, sort of out the door. And for some people, that is how they're thinking, is that the exit is, the end, the out the door. So there's a lot of resources about the exit. And again, a little bit of my recommendations here. The best way to exit a business, the best way is to have clean financials, have a competent team, have growing profits, and have repeatable systems and processes. For example, those are like 4 or 5 things that you definitely should be having. You should definitely be looking at those every day, like you're going to sell the business. But when you do go to sell the business, those have to be solid. They have to be tight. And there's a lot of people that can help you with those. If you've got a CFO, for example, or an operations person in your business, they can certainly help get those tight, document them, make sure that those are all being maximized inside of the business. And then, of course, you have outside resources like your lawyer and your accountant and your advisor when you go to sell a business. There's lots of people who will help you position, package, get your business ready to be sold for the best value that it can be sold at, which after all is one of the reasons why you've started the business and have run it and grown it, is because you want it to create value for you, just like any other asset that you have. So there's plenty of people who are there to help you on the exit. And I would recommend, if you are considering selling a business, give yourself time, put those things in place, talk to the right people, the advisors, the lawyers, and accountants. I will caveat that, and I will just say that from my experience, if you are looking to sell your business, I would recommend that you think hard about having your lawyer or your accountant either place a value on the business or do the negotiating for you. I just don't think that's a great idea, because most of them, that's just not their skill set, where an advisor or an investment banker, that's their skill set. But anyway, that aside, those people are there to give you great planning. Here's the planning that often doesn't get done that I think really needs to get done. And that's the planning for you. And that's what I call the entry planning. The planning for a new world that is going to happen when you sell your business, and it's no longer going to include your business, and things are going to change. Relationships are going to change. So for example, the relationship you have with the people you work with are going to change. The relationships you have with your spouse or significant other could very well change. Relationship with vendors that you had are going to change. There's a lot of things that come with relationships that have to do with your role in the business that will definitely change. Second thing that could change is importance. Go from being a person that other people think are very important to perhaps a person that isn't quite as important to those people or to anyone else. And sometimes that's like a little blow to the ego, but it happens and you need to be prepared for it. Purpose. Your business gives you a lot of purpose, right? But even if you don't like what you're doing there, you still have purpose because it depends on you and because it's important to you and because it is you. And when it's no longer yours, it can be a real struggle to understand what your purpose is. And a lot similar to purpose is goals. You have goals for your business. Those are integrated into you because you identify as the business often. And once that's gone, you may not really have any strong goals. And a lot of people just think, well, at least this is in my experience, and I've sold 2 businesses myself, so I'm standing in the shoes of you, who I'm talking to right now. As long as I have enough money, I'll figure everything else out. Or you say, well, I've been wanting to play golf, and I've been wanting to travel, and I've been wanting to do this, and I want to do that. I think all that's great thinking, but that thinking alone is not going to be enough in my experience. It's just not going to be enough. You really, really, really need to be spending a lot of time before you sell a business thinking about what your entry strategy is going to be, what that strategy is for your life post business. Because I'll tell you, money is great. I love money. I'm sure you love money. The more money, the better. It's just, sure, it's great, but money doesn't come with meaning. Your business often gives you a lot of meaning, and when you don't have the business anymore, sometimes it's hard to have meaning. And I will tell you that that's not a place that you want to be. So I'll just close this out by saying selling a business it's like one of the most important things that you are going to do financially, professionally, personally, for your family, everything. It's not just an exit, it's also an entry. And I want to ask you this question. Are you ready for that entry? If you are, if you're not, I can help you. I can help you with my podcast. I can help you with my own experience. I can help you with your thinking about how to be ready for not just the exit, but for the entry. And as far as exits go, there's another podcast that you might want to listen to. It's called the Deep Wealth Podcast. Jeffrey Felberg is the host of that, and he's got a 9-step roadmap for preparing you to exit your business. He calls it a liquidity event. I really don't like exit or liquidity, but those are terms that are used often. So you may want to check out that podcast for the exit. I don't think he's going to talk to you about the entry either. And I really do think that you need to spend some time, a lot of time, working on your entry to this new post-sale life as an entrepreneur or business owner. Thanks for joining me today for the podcast. I hope you got some value out of it, and I appreciate you investing your time in me and in this podcast. If you like what I'm doing, please share the episode, follow me or subscribe to the podcast, depending on your podcast platform. And until next time, maximize your greatness, please, and make your future, your property, something that you are very, very proud to own. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to the show. And before you go, I just have 3 requests for you. 1, if you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing or following the podcast on whatever podcast platform you prefer. If you're really into it, leave me a review, write something nice about me, give me 5 stars or whatever you feel is most appropriate. Number 2, I've got a book. It's called Owner Shift: How Getting Selfish Got Me Unstuck. It's an Amazon bestseller, and I'd love for you to read it or listen to it on Audible or wherever else, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can get it everywhere. If you're looking for inspiration that will help you unlock your greatness and potential, order or download it today so that you can have your very own copy. And if you get it, please let me know what you think. Number 3, my newsletter. I do a newsletter every Thursday, and I talk about things that are interesting to me or I give more information about the podcast and the podcast guests that I've had and the experiences that I've had with them. You can sign up for the podcast today at my website, which is my name, MikeMalatesta.com. You do that right now, put in your email address, and you'll get the very next issue. The newsletter is short, thoughtful, and designed to inspire, activate, and maximize the greatness in you.